to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast which we smash apart the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1-minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And Kyle,
Yes.
What do you know about cryogenics?
Ooh, very little. I know that there's a baseball player. Isn't there a baseball player who has a head? Ted Williams?
Yes.
Isn't his head in a cryogenic?
There was a company, and we can talk about this because we live
out here
in Scottsdale, Arizona.
That's right.
There was a controversy several years ago where, yes, his head apparently, the family paid to have his head frozen when he died, thinking that something was going to happen.
In the future, yeah.
Right, and weirdness happened. The company went out of business.
Right.
What happens then?
They were big Futurama fans.
Right. Exactly. Well, and of course, the big story, where does this urban legend come from, is Walt Disney.
Yes.
So there were all these stories back from like when Disney died. I think Walt died December 15th, 1966. We have our little notes here. And shortly after that, like a year after, there was this whole rumors of a reporter from a newspaper, a tabloid newspaper. He supposedly walked into a room and saw his body suspended, and it was completely insane. This is literally where the rumors, where they think the rumor started.
Okay.
Everything from, he's in a freezer underneath Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
All this stuff was
I would have
crazy.
thought Haunted Mansion, but
Yeah. Right. And the truth is, okay, when Walt Disney, a few days after he died, he was cremated.
Yep.
His urn containing his ashes are in the Forest Lawn Cemetery of Glendale, California.
very famous.
Yes. I
cemetery.
mean, that's where he is. All these rumors just went crazy because people have an interest in preservation. They have an interest in technology.
There's even a very interesting book called Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom, where an author was just like, what if he was frozen and he was thawed out now? Like, how would he like, and there's a whole scene of him like trying to get into Disneyland. And then he's like, it's how much to get in? I mean, like, it's a whole, so it's about how he would see his company and what happened.
The place is still clean. Yeah. That's good.
I think that's Cory Doctorow wrote that. It's fun. It's short too, so it's interesting.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, who would be really interested in cryogenics?
Oh, I'd say the government.
The government who gets their stuff from a man by the name of Tony Stark.
That's right. We're gonna after a lot of emotion, a lot of camera work, we're getting back to the hardcore MCU stuff. We got some heavy nerdy stuff coming in this episode.
It's smashed in between the house.
Yes. The house on either side.
On either side of this minute is Betty and Leonard's house.
That's right. Yeah, but in the middle, hardcore nerd stuff. So here we are at minute 45 of Louis Leterrier's 2008 film, The Incredible Hulk. We're picking up right where we left off in the middle of the conversation. Now, those of you who watch the deleted scene know that you've already seen how this ends, but we pick up from there where Bruce reveals that he knows what the general wants from him. Right. He says he wants this thing out of me. He wants to dissect it so he can make it a weapon. Which we also, another deleted scene, we saw Ross saying almost exactly that. I don't want him. I want what's inside him.
Which the implication, both when Ross says it and specifically when Bruce says it, is that to do that, you must dissect me.
Yeah.
That's clearly what he's trying to say here is that, Betty, do you understand?
Yeah.
Your dad just wants me dead.
Yeah.
And not necessarily to kill me because of you, but actually second. But first, because he wants me.
The fact that it would split us up is just a bonus.
That's a bonus. That's a bonus. That is a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Me dead.
Right.
He's not going to be sad.
This is even though we have our problems with how that conversation went.
Right.
This is a pretty good cut.
No,
because
this is a good,
says,
yes. Right.
So he can make it a weapon, and we immediately cut to a secret military bunker where their weapons are being stored. And so we see a finger pointing in the code, and the code is 1753. Do you know the significance of 1753?
1753, no.
Well, as it is March, that was the year that the first St. Patrick's Day was observed.
What?
As far as I can tell,
this in March.
We're recording this in March. I don't know when you're listening to it.
That's right.
But yes, I don't know if there's actually an inner lore to that. But
that's your 1753 call. Okay.
So we see going inside. We get to see it's Ross. Looking through inside, and he goes in. And it looks like everything is under a lot of tarps. It looks like there's a lot of the dry ice budget was used in this scene.
Oh no, this is a great scene. Okay, but let's just even talk. Like he punches in that code.
Yep.
There's a huge metal door with a sliver of a horizontal window
Yeah.
that perfectly fills the dimensions of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
of the film, of the movie screen.
Right. Yeah.
And it is
like pure
you have
16
these
by
big
9.
bolts.
Yeah.
Again, perfect shot selection here.
Yeah.
It's this light. You see her in a dark room, and his face just comes in. And
right.
this could be a scene from Silence of the Lambs.
That's true. Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
It's William Hurt. Remember, I'm in this movie.
Right. So no, I love this. This looks great.
Yeah. And then he walks in, and you see all sorts of different machineries and pipes and all sorts of hidden government secrets.
And the whole place is laden with
it has
dry
a
ice.
very
Yeah.
1950s vibe too. Everything is painted green.
Right.
And then he goes through and he fixed one particular vat that apparently he knew right where he was going.
Yeah.
So I mean, this wasn't like he's looking around at the tags to try and figure out what it was.
It's almost like he had put those there.
Yeah, or he'd been there before, or maybe
Yes.
to take something out of some of these other experiments we've been hearing about. So he goes over and opens it up, whips off the thing, and he reveals a metal tag, which the camera handily zooms in on, which is good because there's so much information on this tag. This is what we're going to spend the rest of this minute talking about
Pretty
is
much.
just this tag because it's so good. So it's a cryo sink, and that cryo sink is provided to you by the good people at Stark Industries.
And once again, I love the fact that it is the Stark Industries logo
Yep.
that we have seen forever.
Right. So this is Howard Stark.
Right.
Did this because this thing's been around for a while. Let's work our way down the tag. So we start a program, Weapons Plus. Okay, this is like I don't know who put the Easter egg in here, but bravo, sir, because this is some grade A Marvel lore.
Yeah.
Okay, Weapons Plus is so Grant Morrison, when he was writing for Marvel, he was writing X-Men, and so he came up with this idea of, there was all of these things from when Marvel has been around, at the time, 60 some years of lore. There's all these programs of super soldiers, like the war, all these kind of things. Wolverine came out of the
exactly.
Captain America, all these things. He's like, what if there was one program that was running all of these and we just never knew about it? So he created this thing called Weapon Plus and basically retroactively said, this is what's been doing all this. So the super soldier program was part of this. The Weapon X program was part of this, because Weapon X is next to Weapon X. It's Weapon 10. Because Captain America was Weapon 1. So Wolverine, Weapon X, is actually Weapon 10. So it goes all the way through, and then he introduces the ones that came after Wolverine and all this. So he fitted all of these bits of history, all these different secret scientific programs and things into Weapon Plus. And so the fact they have that on there is really cool, especially for the fact that that's much more of an X-Men thing, and at the time, X-Men were still over at Fox. This is well before. This is a good decade before Marvel would eventually buy the Fox and get all the rights back too. So they were just putting out there as, maybe we could.
We gotta love the little coincidental foreshadowing,
right?
That
so,
who knew.
Operation Rebirth, which is what Captain America was a part of Weapon Plus. Was under there. So. Next line, developer, Dr. Reinstein. Well, Dr. Reinstein is an alternate name for Dr. Erskine, who is the one who created Captain America. That was an alias he used. So it actually is the same person on there too. That's in the comic lore. Now in the MCU, they've never really gone and revealed who Dr. Reinstein might be. So that's what we all assume. They could at some point go back and institute there actually was a Dr. Reinstein. But as it stands, everyone just assumes that was a alias that he used.
I wanna just be able to say once, Dr. Einstein.
Dr. Einstein, so glad to see you.
When I saw that I couldn't stop thinking that.
Reinstein.
Yes.
Serum IDs, I don't know if they don't seem to have any significance as far as I could tell. I couldn't find any lore or anything that about the code numbers and things. Same thing with the batch number, 006.V2. I don't know if that's anything. Same thing with the variation number. I like that it's under contract, U.S. Department of Defense, already saying like whatever's in here belongs to us. But then the other nice little call out there, Vita-Ray. Vita-Ray was what Stan Lee said created Captain America. He was dosed with Vita-Rays, which is something he just made up off the top of his head. Vita-Rays.
Well, I mean,
Why
come
not?
on, that vitamins and X-rays.
Sure.
Vita-Ray.
And interestingly enough, multiple years later, they actually would have a Vita-Ray shout out in Captain America, the First Avenger. So they would say, like, part of the process, Tony Stark says, used Vita-Rays, which I thought was great. So there's lots of like nice nerdy kind of stuff here.
So it's really neat. And as we talked about opening, like, Tony Stark. I mean, Howard Stark. I mean, this goes the whole Stark, the whole Stark family line.
Yeah.
This is, again, I just cannot get over the people who did this.
Yeah, because this is not CG. That's a metal tag.
No, somebody,
made.
Obviously, I love this again. The graphic designers who work on movies, they have to do this.
Prop master.
It's so wonderful to see something that aged really well.
It did. It really did. Because I mean, this is one of my favorite expressions: throwing your hat over the wall.
Yes.
Like they just like took a shot and went, "Yeah, we hope," and it totally paid off because like everything on here is not contradicted by any future film.
Nothing. No, it's great. In fact, it predicted the future.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, this is an Easter egg that aged extremely well. So we see Ross going through. He has the key that opens the lock that takes off the then he can get in. He removes the cryogenic gas, whatever it is that's keeping there. We see a little psh as it goes through.
It looked cool. It made a cool sound.
And so then he has like some metal tongs that he then pulls out the blue serum. Now, so here's what they didn't know. Now, I assume at the time they were thinking this is super soldier serum. Right. That's super soldier serum is the stuff that makes Captain America. You use super soldier serum, inject somebody, you blast them with Vita-Rays, they become Captain America.
Right.
But we know now, like this is like going in the future, that is not super soldier serum. Because when Dr. Erskine died, the formula died with him. The last vial of it smashed onto the floor when the Nazi saboteur attacked.
Oh.
So that is not but the next after Captain America does his first appearances, this is obviously we're talking about a movie that we're going to talk about on this show in like 3 years or something. Right. We get to see them pulling blood from Captain America, vial after vial of blood, as he's sitting there as they're talking about what the plan is. So I'm thinking they retroactively like went back in to try and figure out how to do it from his blood because it was in his blood. So this serum was probably a derivative of what they pulled from his blood, which means it's not super soldier serum. It's as close as they can get. So that's why we see it doesn't work exactly like it's supposed to.
That's a deep cut.
Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, this is why they hired us for this job because
that's a pretty deep
nerd
cut.
Marvel lore.
Yeah,
I've thought about this a lot over the years, not just for this podcast. This is something I had in my head for a while. So yeah, whatever this stuff is, it's not the pure stuff that Dr. Erskine created. This is something else.
So to complement your diligent understanding and knowledge, here's what bothered me about this scene.
Obsessive dedication to Marvel films, you mean?
So can I tell you something?
Sure.
If you need to hire someone to steal something for you, do you know who you don't hire?
Who?
General Thunderbolt Ross. Because here's why.
Yeah.
No gloves.
Oh, right.
Flashlight in the mouth.
Yeah. In a cryogenic lab, no gloves.
This guy is just
that
like...
metal must be so cold.
Wait, I mean, no. I'm laughing at this because here's this guy who comes off as this big... Well, okay, maybe the flashlight in the mouth is because you can't smoke in there, right? Like, you need something in his mouth.
Oral fixation.
I mean, I actually think that's kind of funny. But here he is pulling everything out, and he's just got his hands, and he's just like... Yep, and I'm going to take this clamp, and I'm going to pull this off.
And it's this thing that was been dipped in liquid nitrogen. I'm just going to hold it in my bare hand.
It's so ridiculous. And we've said it oddly, like it's like connected, like it's stuck to the bottom, and he's pulling it, and his face, and again...
It looks like the prop did not function correctly because it should have just come right off his hand. You could see him like struggling with it. Like,
he's struggling.
Is this supposed to come off? I can't tell.
Well, and again, beautiful shot composition because his face is directly behind it, and you're just like, yeah, this works. And then we cut back to the house.
Yeah, stately Ross Manor, and that's where our minute ends.
Yeah,
it's
that's
literally
it.
On a shot of the house at night. So like that happening at the same time. I guess we're meant to think. As they're having their conversation about does the general know he's also going and getting the serum?
So as we're hitting, and it's amazing, we're here at like minute 45 now. Yeah. We're deep into the movie.
Yeah.
So this follows up the minutes that you've been with us on this journey. he's clearly getting this for Blonsky.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like
Right.
their
something
courtship
that
has now been
I think
completed.
that can help with that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's now getting the.
He's going to put a ring on it.
Yeah,
He's going to put some serum in it.
Oh, we're gonna continue that.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
So okay,
The
so
courtship of Emil Blonsky.
this is all coming together
Oh yeah. Yeah.
towards obviously a amicable resolution on all parties.
Oh,
behalfs.
I'm sure. Yeah, they're all there's a big family dinner in the offing. I'm sure in the next
And
10
Leonard's
minutes.
gonna cook it.
That's right. Leonard will cook it for all of them. They're just going to have a sit down powwow. Everything will be fine. I'm sure. Minute 46. Nothing terrible can happen in minute 46. I'm sure. It'll be fine. In the meantime, while you're waiting for minute 46 to drop, you can go shopping. That's right. You can find some Marvel Movie Minute or The Next Reel clothing, mugs, all sorts of stuff. Just head over to our merch store, nextreel.com/merch, and you can upgrade your fashion with our own pretty, pretty logos. So thank you all for listening. We'll see you back here for minute 46. Hope you had a smashing good time. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.